Good morning, everyone. 9:30 this morning, right here in Rechavia and Nachlaot in Yerushalayim. And welcome to everyone around the world that's watching it now and will be watching it later on today and beyond. Before we start, I just want to mention that you have an opportunity to sponsor these daily classes and also the weekly classes in memory of a loved one or in honor of someone that you know. And that would be a great zchut to have tens of people and sometimes hundreds of people watch the class every day. Yesterday and over the last couple of lessons, we've been learning the concept of the deliverance of an idea, of a teaching to others, to students, to someone that's listening, someone that's receiving. And in order to give over a concept, one needs to conceal the essence of the idea, in order that the receiver should be able to receive the idea properly and understand it. Nevertheless, after a certain amount of time or a certain amount of effort, a person can, the student, the receiver, can really receive and appreciate the depth of the teachings of the teacher. Let's continue in this Maamar, in this Chasidic discourse of VeYadaata on page Nun. 4 lines from the top, if you have the text in front of you. The ha'inyan, and the concept is dehine nidbar la'el. It's been explained earlier. Dehagam shemashpia lo b'derech tzara, even though the teacher delivers in a quote-unquote short way, with a shortcut, not giving you the entire, not giving the student the entire depth of understanding of the concept. Mikol makom, nevertheless, yesh bazeh behelim kol omek chochmato. Enveloped in that which was delivered is really concealed all the depth of the wisdom of the teacher. Rak shemitgalel hamekabel hu b'chinat ha'ara chitzonit michochmato. So whatever is received to the mekabel, to the receiver, is only an external shine, an external ray of the teacher's wisdom. The etzem chochmato, and the essence of the chochma of the teacher, noten lo hamashpia behelim, the mashpia, he who delivers, gives over to the student in a concealed way, beha'inyanim, in the subjects, v'hadigdukei tevot, and the detailed words and letters of what he's saying. This is much more understood when we talk about the holy language of Lashon HaKodesh in Hebrew. Because every language, the word, whatever word you say in any language, gives a message. And when you have a bunch of words together, you can have a concept. But in Hebrew, it's much more exact and precise. Every single word has a root word. And there are the words the letters that are in the beginning of the word and the end of the word. It's very, very meduyak. It's very exact, the holy language of Lashon HaKodesh. So when we talk about the teacher giving over a message enveloped in his words, when we talk about Hebrew, the message is even stronger, because once the student is able to take the concept and to really dissect it and look at it from different views and the different exact letters of Lashon HaKodesh, then the student can understand much deeper what the teacher is trying to convey. Okay. Ulezot, and therefore, hamekabel, the receiver, la'achar shemekabel hashpa'a, after he receives the deliverance, the concept, the idea, umityashevet etzlo, and it becomes settled by him. Afterwards, when he sits down and starts to look at the detailed letters and the concepts of what the teacher gave over to him, and he has a strong effort into this concept, according to what he received in a revealed sense, Then he reaches the depth, the inner kavana, the etzem chochmaton, the essence of his wisdom. Here's the key word. Shehu, as it is, eitzel harav mamash, by the teacher himself, literally, kodem shetzimtzem et atzmo lahashpia. Even before he condensed the idea in his own mind, before he delivered the concept to those that are listening. Ukemoken, and so too, the student sees pnimiyut chochmato, the inner wisdom, b'hameshalim, in the metaphors, hakol k'mo Rav atzmo, everything like it is by the Rav himself. In other words, another example of enveloping an idea, a concept, into an external shine, a ray, is a metaphor. Why do you give a metaphor? You're trying to explain a concept. So when you give the metaphor, so the idea is hidden inside the metaphor, and after you say the metaphor, then you can explain the analogy. For some people, one metaphor is not enough. You need to have two or more until the student really understands. And as we said several days ago, that the wisdom of Shlomo HaMelech, of King Solomon, was in the fact that he was able to say 3,000 metaphors for one concept. It's not just that he was so smart, more than a regular person, to be able to deliver an idea in one or two metaphors and parables. Rather, for Shlomo HaMelech, he was able to see the whole concept right in front of him. Just like when you play a chess game. So a master, world champion chess player is able to see several, maybe hundreds of moves ahead already in the original concept. And that's a genius way of looking at things. So Shlomo HaMelech was able to bring down 3,000 levels, one level more lower until you'll be able to understand the real deep concept. So all of these are different layers. So you can have, for example, a fruit, and you have the fruit itself, which is right in there. But then you have a layer of a peel which protects over it. So you could say this is the orange, but when you peel away the peel, then this is really the orange. But once you start opening the different pieces of the orange, and you see there's a small, very thin layer of skin, and you peel it, you can eat it, but it's nonetheless a cover. When you peel it off, then you can see even deeper. And an onion is even a better example because you have several layers. Sometimes, obviously the outer layer is most external, but as you peel in, as you peel away, you get more and more to the essence of the fruit itself. And the same thing is in any analogy, in any example. The concept that you're trying to deliver, sometimes you need to put it in a package in order for it to be received properly by the receiver, by the student. V'hainu, and that means, after the receiver understands the concept, the analogy through the metaphor, the hainu, that is, shemipratei omek hamashal, from the details of the deep metaphor, harehu ba lepratei omek hanimshal, the person can reach the details of the depth of the of the analogy, bipnimiyut hakavana shabo, in the innermost intention of it, as it is in its depth and its purpose. As then, me'ir etzlo, it shines by the receiver, pratei hanimshal, the details of the understanding and of the analogy, al yidei hamashal, through the metaphor. Vero'eh umargish, as, and then the person sees and feels et ha'inyan eloki, the godly concept, bemuchash mamash. Beautiful words. Literally, clearly. Kanal, as we said earlier. V'nimtza. So what do we have now? At the bottom line. she'az mishtaveh mekabel el hamashpia. Then the receiver becomes almost on the same level as the deliverer. Gambi diat v'asagat pnimiyut kavana. Also, when it came to the understanding and the knowledge of the deeper kavana, of the deeper intention. I already said a bracha beforehand, so l'chaim. Now we're going to explain, the Rebbe Rashab is going to explain, better said. I'm just the funnel, the medium through which the Rebbe Rashab is talking to all of us. And the Rebbe Rashab is going to go into a new subject, which is called Or Yashar, a straight light, and Or Choser, a rebounding light. Or Yashar is a light. You have a studio, or just a regular light, for example, in a dining room, in a kitchen, in a home. And also in a studio, you have special lights to be able to make sure that the receiver, either the person that's in the room or someone watching a broadcast of someone, should be able to see the person properly. So you set up lights there should be a vision properly. But then you have in a studio, and you have in other cases, you have an or choser. It's a rebounding light. And I'm sure those of us that have deal with productions and videos and cameras will be able to explain this much better than I can. But nonetheless, the concept hopefully will be understood. Sometimes you have to focus the light almost in an opposite direction in order that the rebound of that light should be able to shine in a proper way, that it should be able to be received properly and understood and viewed properly. I think a great example for the difference between Or Yashar, a straight light, and Or Choser, a rebounding light, is the sun and the moon. Once again, I can't really explain it well because I'm not very well versed in astrology and all that stuff. But nonetheless, in a nutshell, we have the sun, and the sun gives us light the way it is, and we try to receive the light in the best possible way. Sometimes, if the light is too strong, too bright, or even too warm, too hot, then we have different systems to be able to dilute that light. So for example, a curtain, that can make that you won't see the light at all, or much less than the original light. And of course, the closer you get to the sun officially, it's supposed to be hotter. Although I understand that if you were to open the window in an airplane, and I don't recommend it, but that it will actually be cold. So I'm sure the scientists amongst us will be able to explain it. But nevertheless, here's the point. The sun is an Or Yashar, a straight light. Hashem created the sun to give us light. But the moon is apparently a reflection from the light of the sun. And depending on what day of the month it is, and how the reflection, how the circulation of the galaxies and the way Hashem created the world, and in the specific focus where the sun meets the moon, that's the reflection of the moon that we see. So it's not an Or Yashar, it's not a straight light, a direct light, it's a rebounding light. And so if we're to take these two concepts of Or Yashar and Or Choser, a straight light and a rebounding light, the difference between them in simple words, in simple terms, I think, is that Or Yashar is a straight light, which means that you get what you see and you see what you get. The advantage of Or Yashar is that you're seeing something straight, something clear. Or Choser, on the other hand, you're not seeing the thing itself. You're almost seeing a reflection. You're seeing a rebound of one light over a wall which eventually came to you. So if I'm going to ask you a simple question, which light is stronger? Is the Or Yashar stronger or the Or Choser? I think the answer is the Or Choser, the rebounding light. Because it's stronger, therefore you can't see it. You can't look at it in the eyes, in your face. Because if you do, then it might be, God forbid, blinding. So the only way to see it is through rebounding and reflecting off another surface. But if I'm going to ask you another question, if I'm going to ask you which of the two lights of Or Yashar and Or Choser is clearer, is more acceptable, is easier to understand, is easier to appreciate? Correct. I think you'll tell me that it's Or Yashar, because it's a straight light, simple, straightforward, without any rebounding, without any interpretations and reflections, just the light itself. So then you'll ask me, which one's better? Is the Or Yashar better or the Or Choser? Did you hear that? Or the Or Choser. And so the answer is, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for something straightforward, clear vision, then just put on the light and enjoy the light that Hashem gives you. But if you're looking for something deep and original and, something not straight, but something deep and a challenge, you're looking for a challenge, then the Or Choser is the one you're looking for. Because then you're looking for something which is something which is really deep. You'll get it, but you're not going to get the thing itself, because the thing itself is way too deep. So the only way for you to appreciate it is through rebounding and reflecting off another surface. So in summary, we have these two concepts. On one hand, the Or Yashar, and on the other hand, the Or Choser. So I'm just going to give you the nutshell, and then tomorrow we'll learn about the how it relates to us inside the text. Ella she'etzel hamashpia hu bebchinat Or Yashar. By the mashpia, by the one that's teaching, delivering, giving, for him it's Or Yashar. The concept is very simple, straightforward, with all of its depth. But for the student, that would be called Or Choser. Because for the student, we're talking about not being able to receive the essence. In order to receive all the depth and the essence, you need to have explanations, interpretations. That's like the rebounding and the reflecting of the Or Choser, of the deepest light. And if we're talking about the Or Choser, then it takes time, and sometimes a long time, and sometimes lots of focus and interpretation to be able to appreciate the essence of the light. And in our case, the essence of the Rebbe's teachings. Thank you very much for joining us, and Bezrat Hashem, please join us for the next classes that are about to come. All the best. Be well.